and welcome to Off Script with myself, Hannah Bowman, and we have made it to the end of all the weddings for MAFS. I know, give yourself a pat on the shoulder. It's been a long week. So last night we saw 2 more weddings to round out the season until the intruders, but we had Julia and Grayson, and then we had Stella and Phillip. So I'll start with Julia and Grayson. Can I just say, Julia is so stunning. She just has such an energy about her, and she coaches people in speaking and media training and stuff like that. And you can tell that she's very confident in herself, which I absolutely love. Grayson, I'm not convinced on. He always has a bit of a startled look on his face. And I weirdly noticed his eyes are this amazing bright blue, but sometimes his pupils were really tiny and sometimes they were really big, and that was confusing me. I don't know if that was making him look more startled or if he was just nervous, which obviously you would be. The weirdest thing about that wedding is that there was no flowers, no setup, no arch or anything where they got married. Like, it was obviously beautiful at the Sydney Opera House, but I'm very confused about that. I saw someone leave a comment on a video saying that the Opera House doesn't allow you to do styling in that way, but I don't know if that's true or not. If you know, leave a comment, let me know. But it was very noticeable compared to the other weddings that have so much styling and so many flowers and all that kind of stuff. So it looked weirdly bare, but then obviously the backdrop was really beautiful. So I don't know, but she seemed very warm and engaging, and they seemed like they enjoyed it. So congrats to them. His face when she told him that she was bisexual was the most like, my mouth is saying I'm not bothered, but my face is saying I'm very bothered. So I don't know. I've heard rumours that the reason they break up is because he's not on board with that. So it's interesting that he was so accepting at the wedding, but obviously he knows it's not going to be a good look to bring that up in that moment. So we'll see what happens from here. Now, the other wedding we saw was Philip and Stella. What the hell? That was insane, especially when it came to her family. She obviously was on the motorbike and she has moved away from home, and she has quite an interesting backstory. And when she said that she's just really looking for connection, that broke my heart a little bit. And he obviously has turned his life around. They both have the backstory of being from families that have moved from Europe to Australia, or she has done that by herself. His family looked really beautiful and sweet. Her friends, on the other hand, sorry, you're not the main characters. Again, it was like Will from Gia's wedding. The male friend Joe, and I think her other friend was called Layla. Again, it's hard for me to take anything kind of literally as you watch it, because in my head I'm going, okay, a producer's pulled Joe aside and said, it's weird that he mentioned his YouTube channel in the vows, right? Like, do you reckon that's a red flag? And then that's got his brain ticking. That's how I kind of envision all of this happening. Obviously, I'm not sure, but it is weird that he just went so in on that. And then for the other friend to come up to him and be like, you know, you're bothered. Like, you need to calm down. Like, her energy was just so intense. And if I was Stella, I actually don't think my friends would be doing myself a favor in that moment. Don't pull me aside on the big day. Wait, do it afterwards. So that's why it makes me kind of skeptical that they're doing that on their own accord. And it makes me think like, yeah, producers have jumped in and been like, here are all the red flags, don't you think? Yeah, because I would be bloody annoyed, because she seemed to really like him. They both used the word resilience in their vows, which I thought was really cute. And they seem to have a similar lifestyle. She was into the fact that he gets up at 4 a.m., all that kind of stuff. And I will say, in the little video package that they show beforehand, when he took off his top, he is bloody ripped. So I believe that he's working out as much as he says he does. And then there was all the stuff with the Lithuanian tradition of having the shot of vodka And again, my brain just goes straight to the producers. They go, we've got a guy that's sober. We've got this beautiful Lithuanian girl. Let's have a look at what the traditions are. Ooh, doing a shot of vodka is one of the traditions. Why don't we say to her friend, hey, wouldn't it be great to have some of her traditions and family and cultural traditions in the wedding to set up that moment? I just don't believe these things happen organically. But I did find it disappointing that his friends were all like, yeah, mate, have a shot of vodka. Is he going to do it? Is he going to do it? When he's sober. And the only person, I don't remember seeing what his family were doing at that time, but the only person that seemed really on his side and supporting him was Stella. And she's like, no, it doesn't matter. You don't have to do that. Like, if that doesn't align with your values, that's so fine. So I actually have a little bit of hope for the two of them. And I think that they are quite aligned in a lot of different ways. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they deal within the experiment as a whole with all the other people, because they seem a bit more, he's sober. They're very reserved, kind of different people to like some of the big characters that I think, the dinner party tonight, we're just going to see the Gias and the Becks and everyone just absolutely explode. So I've got my fingers crossed for Stella and for Philip, because I did say that I was worried that we hadn't seen enough love. But yeah, I'm hoping that they might be the love story. Now, one other couple that I want to quickly talk about is Chris and Brooke, because there are a lot of rumours swirling around at the moment. So there's been a lot of headlines today about the fact that A, Brooke has reconnected with her ex, and B, she's pregnant. So obviously I don't know if these are just rumours and headlines or if it's official, but there was a video that came out that was her and her ex decorating a Christmas tree, which kind of tells you what you need to know. You're not getting lovey-dovey and doing all the homemaking stuff with just anyone. Putting up a Christmas tree, that's pretty serious. So that video is obviously there for the viewing. But the pregnancy stuff, I feel like this is kind of going to come to us in the next few days and weeks, so we will have to see what happens. The other kind of rumours that I'm hearing are that she actually does stay on the show for a little bit, because she felt like the producers were, trying to make her stay, despite the fact that she was never really getting that romantic vibe from Chris and didn't really like the way that he was coming across anyway. So she obviously wasn't very interested. But the other cast members were very, questioning of the fact of why she was going home a lot of weekends and what she was doing. And a lot of people are saying that maybe she actually reconnected with the ex during filming. So stay tuned. I will let you know of any updates that I come across in the coming days and weeks. And the final thing that I just wanted to quickly touch on was something really interesting that I saw on Instagram today. So we all know that during MAFS airing, the contestants have their social media taken from them. The producers take their passwords, they're logged out, they can't post, they can't do anything. So, they're not going rogue online. They will post pictures that they pick and approve the caption, and producers post it, comments are turned off, all that stuff. But today I open Instagram and Alyssa of Get On Your Knees and Propose to Me fame has posted stories and a grid post. I'm like, what the hell? So she already is an influencer before the show. She has quite a big following on TikTok. But the fact that this was on Instagram and it is her walking through a car dealership with a car brand that she's worked with previously. So I'm thinking, is this an obligation, a work obligation, that she works with this brand and needed to post this during the time when she didn't have access to her accounts? But none of the posts say paid partnership, ad, sponsored, any of that. So that's really confusing to me. So I'm going to keep a close eye on all the contestants and see if anyone else posts anything non-MAFS related and just random. But I'm thinking it's because social media is already her job. But yeah, in the history of MAFS, I don't remember ever seeing that before. So I was quite taken aback when I saw that pop up on Instagram today. So yes, that brings us to the end of all the weddings. We've got the dinner party tonight. I, for one, am bloody excited. We've survived nearly a week of MAFS, and we've only got many, many weeks to go. So this is the podcast to come to if you're wanting all the MAFS goss, and let me know about any other shows that you want me to talk about. I've seen the ads for Survivor popping up, which is exciting. I bloody love Survivor. But for now, we're pretty MAFS heavy. And yeah, follow the pod, follow me, and I will be promising to deliver you all the MAFS goodness. And I will see you next time.